his nose starts bleeding uncontrollably,
shooting out blood,
and
the
the
blood
blood
gets on the invisible guy.
Gets on the invisible guy so that fucking Yamcha can beat him up or something. I was
so
like that.
silly.
They literally incorporated it into their plot line.
Yeah.
Like.
We in. Hey, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Hi, everybody.
That was very high.
Welcome to the Chris
Bring
and
it
Kyle
down
show.
a little bit.
Welcome to the Chris and Kyle. Hello.
So you're trying to do a Pikachu impression.
Nah, dog. If I was doing a Pikachu impression, you'd know it.
What? You just have a really good Pikachu
I wouldn't be
impression?
speaking English, dude. I'd be saying Pikachu.
Oh, okay.
Duh. What do you think I meant? What's up,
If
everybody?
that's not English, what is that?
Fucking Pokemonese.
Yeah, but not all Pokemon speak the same language. I feel
Or
like that's
do
kind of an overgeneralization.
Well, I mean, if you really want to think about it, in the Pokemon universe, what came first? Language or Pokemon? Like, did language develop based off what Pokemon called themselves?
What?
Do you think that, like, puns... Do you think every Pokemon... In the Pokemon universe, do you think every Pokemon just happens to have a weird pun name? Or do you think language developed around the vocalization of the creatures around them?
I still don't understand what you mean.
I don't know how to explain it any better than that to you.
Yep.
All right. He's
Moving
Chris, and he's an idiot. And I'm Kyle, and I'm a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I'm not that smart. It's fine. You feeling all right? You ready to go?
Yeah.
Are you confused about my Pokemon talk?
Yeah.
That's okay. We're going to go anyway. You wanted to do a little writer's talk?
My fly's down. That's embarrassing.
I mean, I think on camera
Look away.
you're like pretty much safe, mostly because your leg's in the way.
Yeah.
But I could see everything. And let me tell you, I'm going to keep it a secret. This is a
Starting off hot.
This is a couch of secrets. Everything we say goes to the world, and everything we see stays on the couch.
Let's fucking start talking about something.
I just asked you, and
Of
you said your
importance.
fly was down.
Okay, what'd you say? What'd you ask me?
You said that you wanted to do a little writer's corner action.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you haven't written anything, so you're like, oh, why should
I
we
was like,
do a
do
writer's
you want
corner
to? Well,
this
because you
week?
had every writer's corner. You're like, I haven't written anything.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't write for NaNoWriMo.
Which is, as of recording, officially finished.
Right.
So is your
Today's the last day.
your grand word total is a big old 0? Well, no, you
I would
did some
say-
stuff early.
No, yeah, I probably had like 3,000 words.
I'll give you my final total. My post-mortem, 26,747,
Solid.
which should be proud of, but I'm a little disappointed in myself for not getting
You were a lot
back
more
on
committed to the NaNoWriMo thing.
it. I didn't get back onto it after Spider-Man ruined
I
my
was
life.
just like, oh, this is like a cool thing that I might.
Yeah. And you didn't really. In a little bit.
Yeah. Like,
But
it was
you
like a couple days
you
and I was
now
like,
started
this
working
is-
on something else, though.
Well, like because of NaNoWriMo, it forced me to download Scrivener and like grow how comfortable I was in writing a novel. Yeah, and it's like it forced me to think about Tritonopium more. But this past week I did some rewriting on Lunatic Fringe,
Oh, yeah?
which I mean, like I'm more
Your comic?
Yeah, I'm more excited. It needs a good rewrite because there's like, especially over like the past couple months, there's just a lot of times where I'm like, fuck, I need that scene, and realize that like
You need that scene? Like something's
like-
missing from the story?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like I left out a flashback that I'm like, yeah, that would, because there was a lot of, especially with it, like all of the feedback that I got and stuff, that I was like, yeah, that'd be really important to the story.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, you asked me if like, should we do the writer's corner? And I was like, yeah.
Oh, I thought you had
I wrote.
I thought you like had some sort of epiphany of some kind. And you wanted
Well,
to.
okay, so I think that we could talk about this, right? So,
Okay.
even though neither of us reached the goal of 50,000 words, right? I heard one of our buddies from high school, John Matos, on his podcast. He talked about how like he was like really into jazz.
Yeah. I was in jazz band with him. I know.
Mhm, yeah. And he was talking about how, it translated, like he went from that to business, and he was kind of worried, like he was like, oh, I kind of wasted all my time in jazz. And then now he's sort of realizing like, there's all of these things that you pick up that are like ingredients to who you become, and it all kind of matters, in your journey of life.
Yeah.
And I just,
You are the sum of your experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And, I felt like that was like the most, there is no such thing as failure
As long as you're
NaNoWriMo,
when you're taking something from it.
Yeah. Like,
I feel that.
Like, you put in a lot more effort into NaNoWriMo itself than I did, but I'm for sure going to be using Scrivener for the rest of my time writing.
Yeah.
Like I love it as a software, and it's fucking really efficient in outlining things.
I use Open Office. I don't even have Word.
Open Office?
Exactly. It's trash.
Open Office.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike's laptop that I still use. Yeah, so that's Writer's Corner. You got any good fun personal news to share with the lovely people?
So I recently went to LA to look at another apartment because
we got tricked. No, that's the wrong word.
Not really tricked.
We were ill prepared. I don't even know if that's right either.
Oh no, we were prepared. I mean, it was just the more that we got to know the landlord of the place that we were looking at. Like, she was asking for too much, and she just kept raising the security deposit too much. So we were like, all right, we're gonna find a different place.
Yep.
So looked at another place. I went up there yesterday at like 4 p.m. And driving, even when it's like 3:30 in the afternoon, it's awful.
Yep. I don't send him to do my bidding. I had to work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been driving because I don't trust him to drive.
Fucking.
I was worried about you. I was literally at work, like, man, I hope Chris doesn't get in an accident.
Because it was rainy yesterday.
Because it was raining.
And I got flipped off by a dude in RDR8. Fucking just like a.
Isn't enough going your way, dude? That you got to go flipping people off on the road.
So like I was, and it literally wasn't even. I think that he thinks that I cut him off, but there's a difference between like getting cut off and like just driving in front of someone. And I definitely just like drove in front of him, and I think he was kind of pissed off.
You weren't so close to him that you were cutting him off, impeding his movement.
Yeah.
He was just like, look at this open road I've got, and then you were like, nah, check out my license plate.
Dude, there's like a type of anger that comes with like LA traffic that it's like palpable. Like, you can cut it with a knife. Like, it's, you can feel it.
Yeah,
it's different.
intense.
Like, San Diego traffic's bad, but like there's a different.
But you also know how to avoid it.
Yeah.
In San Diego, just don't go on the roads at certain times. You'll be fine. It's actually very easy to get around if you're driving around non-rush hour times. But up there, oh boy, it's just constant cars everywhere. It's gonna be exciting.
I mean, hopefully we'll just be able to fucking. Hopefully I can just take the bus everywhere.
I'm just gonna take my hover bike everywhere.
Your hover bike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a hover bike. I didn't tell you that.
No.
I'm gonna levitate everywhere I go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
That's sick.
Very efficient. Environmentally friendly too.
Is it?
Yeah. It's powered by the sun.
So it's a solar hover bike.
It's like It's like the Superman of hover bikes.
I didn't know that they came out with those.
Yeah.
Some hyper technology.
It's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah. Fucking. It's been a busy week, dude. I feel like, I'm exhausted already. I mean, I don't know, for me.
I don't know. I worked this week more than usual. So, yeah.
This is an awful fucking episode so far. All right, let's fucking get into something interesting.
Oh, okay.
Let's start with basketball.
You want to do sports?
Yeah.
You want to do a little... So we're a quarter of the way through the NBA season.
Yeah.
Which, to me, means that we should take a broad look at the league, or lig, as some people may say, and you know, take a sort of stock of how things are, versus expectations, versus how we think things may continue to be. You know what I'm saying? So, that being said, here's our NBA quarter season review. I got a paper. You want to know the standings?
Yeah.
If the playoffs were to start right now, we would have in the East Raptors versus Magic.
Hell yeah.
The 8 seed Magic.
Hell yeah.
We would have Bucks versus Celtics in round 1, which we remember the playoff series from last year.
Mm-hmm.
That series was nuts. We would have Sixers versus Hornets. And we would have Pacers and Pistons. Pistons are actually higher. I don't know why I said them second. In the West, we would have your surprise number 1 seed, the Los Angeles Clippers, playing the Luka-led Mavericks. Then we would have the Denver Nuggets playing the Lakers. We would have the Warriors playing the Grizzlies. And we would have the Thunder playing the Trailblazers. That would be your playoff field if it started today. Some surprises in there. Like your Orlando Magic.
Yeah, they're playing better than expected.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it. I'm like constantly going back and forth to being like, well, here's the thing. When I watch every individual game, I always get hype as
when they're playing well, when they're winning,
Yeah. But after they win, I'm kind of like, oh man, like that's
now I can't get Zion.
Well, I don't want Zion.
Now I can't get Bol. Don't
like,
say you don't want Zion. Like if you drafted Zion,
I would rather have Bol than
yeah,
Zion.
but if you drafted Zion, you'd be like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it would be cool. Like I would be like, yeah, that's the. But yeah, I would rather have Bol just for the idea. It's just so aligns with the John Hammond
long boy life.
Mm-hmm. Especially if we picked up somebody like
traded for Frankie Ntilikina or something.
Yeah.
I think you guys are a surprise in there. I think in the East, I'm surprised the Hornets and Pistons would both be in right now. I feel like if you would ask me before, I would have been like, yeah, one of them might get in at the 8 seed, but probably not both. But as of now, they'd both be in. And
Hornets and who else?
Pistons.
Right.
Blake's playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Griffin's been playing really well.
Right.
And obviously Kemba's been going crazy.
Right.
My boys are playing very bad.
Yeah.
Makes me very sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much like the antithesis of what's happening with the Magic is what's happening with Heat. I would have bet on them to make the playoffs this year, and
I still think we'll make it.
I think
I believe in Spo so much, and I believe in the effort that the team plays with so much that I think that we'll go on a little bit of a run and get back.
Well, and you guys are also just hurt, right?
Yeah, we've had injuries all
We've
season.
had a lot of injuries.
Goran hasn't played in like 2 weeks, and before that, James Johnson didn't start playing until like 2 weeks ago, and Deion Waiters hasn't played in a year and a half, and Tyler Johnson's been in and out, but honestly, I prefer.
And you're like, your home record's really bad, right?
Really bad. Really bad. We have not, well, tonight was our first win on the Vice court, that super sexy court, but we weren't wearing the uniforms. We're still winless at home in the uniforms. They might be cursed. They look too good to win in. We can't have everything.
Yeah, if I had to put my money on one team out of the Magic or the Heat to make the playoffs, I would still put my money on the Heat.
Yeah, hopefully we get healthy and can put a little run together. But the biggest surprise is probably the Clippers right now being the 1 seed in the West. Mm. The West is a bloodbath. They're 15-6, and the Mavericks are 10-9. So there's like a 4.5, 5 game spread between the 1 and 8 seeds.
Yeah,
and the Rockets, as of last night I saw, were second to last in the West, but they were, I want to say, 2 games out of the 8 seed or something like that. Like, it's so close in the West. It's crazy. I don't know if there's any other surprises in that lineup as much as maybe the Nuggets, especially being as high as they are. They're the 2 seed right now. But maybe the Grizzlies. But they're playing like the Grizzlies before last year because Mike Conley and Marc Gasol have both been healthy. And Jaren Jackson Jr. aka J3, has fit in really well there.
Yeah, and I remember having a conversation with somebody. We were talking about the Magic and where they fall, like as far as potential like end of the season, like where they would be seated. And they were saying that like the Magic would be better than the Grizzlies this year, and I was like, I don't think so, because Conley is
baller.
Conley's
Underrated.
back. Marc Gasol's playing great. And fucking Jaren Jackson Jr. is a fucking animal.
Yep.
That dude is a incredible rookie.
Yeah.
Incredible rookie.
Really versatile defender.
Mm-hmm.
Really good shooter for his position.
He's hit the ground running for he's the youngest guy in the fucking draft, which is insane.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he fouls a lot, but that's just like all rookies do, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's a little bit like unpolished, but I mean, he just overcomes all that stuff with sheer athleticism, and it seems like instinct. A lot.
Yeah, he seems smart.
Yeah.
He seems smart when he plays. I just listened to Mike Conley on Zach Lowe's podcast, and Zach Lowe was like, "Give me one bad thing about Jaren Jackson Jr. You know, like just one flaw that we're not seeing." And he brought up fouls immediately. But he was just like, "Yeah, he's hit the ground running. He's a really incredible player." Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever heard Mike Conley talk.
Yeah?
What does he sound like?
I don't know, just like a normal dude, I guess.
He doesn't have like a weird voice or something?
No, it's definitely not weird.
Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping he had a weird voice. Like, if he had a really weird voice, we could use that. Make him stand out more.
No.
Make people recognize him for how good he is.
No.
All right, whatever. I'm gonna ask you about some, because at the end of the season there'd be awards. So at the quarter mark, we got to see who's in the running for this stuff. We're not going to start with MVP because we're going to do that last.
Right. So
first I'm going to ask you, who, off the top of your head, would you think would be coach of the year?
Okay, so I have two.
Okay.
My immediate reaction is Bud.
Yep.
Coach Budenholzer for the Milwaukee Bucks.
They're balling.
Yeah. Everything that you would think would happen with the Bucks and how they should have been playing last year is what has happened this year with Budenholzer at the helm.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary, and fucking Giannis is an MVP candidate right now, even though he's shooting like ass.
From three. From the field, he shoots great.
You're right.
From three, he shoots horrible.
But
debatably the front runner for MVP, Giannis.
Right. Everybody else on the team though is just jacking up threes.
Chris Middleton,
All-Star
this year,
might make All-Star team this year. Brooke Lopez,
dude. You know a nickname I heard for him?
What?
Splash Mountain.
Okay,
that's good.
That's pretty good
because he shoots lots of threes.
Does that make Robin Lopez like Thunder Mountain?
Oh, I like that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yes. Who's Space Mountain though?
Is there a triplet?
The secret Lopez triplet. Brooke, Robin, and
Batman
Lopez. AKA Space Mountain. Who's your second one that comes to your mind?
Okay, Coach Rivers.
Doc Rivers, yeah. I thought the same thing. Yeah. Mostly because look where the Clippers are.
Yeah, former Orlando Magic head coach.
More well known as former Celtics head coach for winning a championship there.
Yeah, but fucking Clippers, first seed in the East. They're playing really well.
I'm going to give you some names. I just poked around, so I'll look for different opinions.
Okay.
Obviously, Bud is on there. Obviously, Doc is on there. JB Bickerstaff, the Grizzlies head coach. Which, crazy, he was the interim head coach last year. And they brought him back. After they fired David Fizdale, he became the interim head coach, and he kept the job. So he's doing a good job. Nick Nurse of the Raptors, which, how weird would it be if Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year last year, and then Nick Nurse took the job from him this year, and he won it on the same team? It'd be so weird. And Dave Yeager was another one I saw, because the Kings are playing way better than people expected. They're not in the playoffs, though. But if anything, I think Vlade Divac liked that more. Because there was a rumor they were thinking about firing him because he was playing veterans too much and they were winning too many games.
Now, is it okay? Now,
I don't know if it was true. It was just a rumor.
No, but so if you're a GM, you could get upset with your head coach for not playing the younger guys as much. But it doesn't have to be directly tied to how many games that you win.
Probably not.
You know, like you could want your younger guys to win independent of how many games that you win, right?
Yeah. Sure. But I just think it's funny that they were finally like going on, had a winning record.
And
then that rumor comes out. They're like, yeah, they might fire him. It's like, do they want to be bad forever? Is that their goal?
What about Dwayne Casey?
I mean,
the Pistons are playing really well.
The Pistons are playing well. They're the current 4 seed in the East, and Blake Griffin's playing really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing around Blake Griffin, and he beat the Raptors, which good for him. Like I saw they were playing, I was like, I hope the Pistons win because I get why they fired him, but it just seems messed up. Mm-hmm. Like they were the 1 seed in the East, they were really good, and just because they can't beat LeBron. They're like, all right, fire the coach and trade DeMar, blow it up. But so far, it's kind of weird because like Nick Nurse can become the 1 seed in the East and win 60 games, and he still hasn't done anything that Dwayne Casey didn't do though. His entire job relies on their playoff performance.
Nick Nurse does.
Yeah, if they were willing to fire Dwayne Casey for going to the second round and losing.
But I don't think that Dwayne Casey's firing was just off the results of last year. It was
multiple years of
playoff failures. Of playoff failures, yeah. It was the
almost
straw that broke
exclusively at the hands of arguably the greatest player to ever live.
Yeah. It was a raw deal. I mean, I think that the Raptors were just like, we got to try something.
Yeah.
We got to try something.
Well, what's their GM's name? Masai Ujiri?
Mm-hmm.
That dude is, 1, a genius.
Yeah.
2, that dude wants to wants rings. He has super high expectations. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think those are probably the top coaching candidates I could think of. I'd put Bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree?
I feel like it's the most obvious answer, which is probably the...
Now,
it's obvious for a reason.
If the Clippers ended the regular season number 1 in the West, I think Doc would win.
If they ended number 1? Yeah.
I think Doc would win.
Yeah.
6th man of the year, top of your head. Who you got?
I don't watch enough. It's tough. I don't watch enough basketball to know exactly who the 6th man should be.
Anybody that comes to mind.
So I have 2.
Okay.
My first one is Terrence Ross.
Okay, because you're a homer.
Because I'm a homer.
He's been playing really well.
He's been playing really well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have talked about him for 6th man of the year. Another one, Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, he's a very popular choice.
Yeah.
Very popular choice. Montrezl Harrell, the forward of the Clippers, which, as we said, them being the 1 seed in the West right now is largely due to their depth and the way that Doc Rivers has been utilizing their talents. So on this list here, I've got Montrezl Harrell and Lou Will is on this list, both bench guys for the Clippers.
Right.
I saw a pretty funny comment that was like, how can they both be the 6th man?
Right.
Isn't one of them the 7th man? Which, sure, but the only rule that applies to being 6th man is that you come off the bench for the majority of your games.
Yeah.
You could literally play 43 games as a bench player and win 6th man of the year. Which brings me to my first person on this list, Derrick Rose. Former MVP Derrick Rose has had to start a lot because of Jeff Teague injuries. But that dude has been balling. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden is a great shooter from 3. Right. It just happened. Yeah. Something he's never been.
What is he shooting, like 38% or something?
Something high,
like,
yeah.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah. And he dropped, he had that 50-point game. And he's had other big scoring nights. I mean, he's been playing really well. I put Dennis Schroeder on here, coming off the bench for the Thunder, being a reliable distributor off the bench when normally on the Thunder, especially since KD has left, these Russell Westbrook teams completely fall off the wagon when Russell gets off the court.
But he's a spark plug. Right?
Yeah, and they play him to close games too. They put them both on the court together at the end of games, which is interesting because neither of them are great 3-point shooters.
Right.
But
Dennis Schroeder's not bad though.
I think they're both like low 30s guys.
I think that Dennis Schroeder's shooting like 35.
Oh, so he's
36.
having a good year.
Yeah.
Hey, having Russell Westbrook set you up will do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in his career, he's been playing for the Hawks, who's been drawing attention and who's been setting up open shots for him in his career.
Right.
It makes sense that playing with Russell and with Steven Adams, who's a good underrated passer, and with Paul George, who's drawing a lot of attention, that he's going to be able to get easier and more open looks. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will, Jeremy Lin, I've seen.
Okay.
Since he came back from injury for the Hawks. I see Jeremy Lin as an easy buyout candidate or trade candidate later in the season for the Hawks.
How old is Jeremy Lin?
30?
Yeah.
I think he might be 30 exactly, 31.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't really align with
he seems
Atlanta
like
Hawks
a
timeline,
he seems
but
like
they
a
have Vince
dude.
Carter, so it's like
He seems like a dude who's a perfect sixth man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think about what if he was on the Lakers or back on the Lakers, strangely, or teams with a really good starting point. If he was on the Heat, we need a backup point guard real bad.
Right.
Just any team that has a good starting point guard, but lacks that distribution off the bench and scoring punch off the bench too. He brings them both. Spencer, young Lando Dinwiddie. Now we need to explain that joke because it makes no sense. In NBA 2K14, which I would play on my Xbox 360, Spencer Dinwiddie looks exactly like a young Lando Calrissian. It's crazy. This was before Solo: A Star Wars Story came out that we started calling him that, but he looks exactly like a young Lando Calrissian. So I will forever call him young Lando. Mm-hmm. It's fun.
Even though he doesn't have a mustache anymore, right?
He has a goatee.
I mean, is a goatee a mustache?
I mean, there's a mustache there.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog. I was gonna say. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Is a goatee a mustache? I don't know. And then my last one that I saw, sort of a sleeper one people were fighting for, was Domantas Sabonis on the Pacers, having a big season off the bench. My choice right now would be Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like it's kind of obvious. Yeah.
For sure. You too? Or are you sticking with Montrez?
I don't know. I haven't seen either of them enough to really like have a definitive.
I've watched like a weird amount of Timberwolves games this year. They just happen to like be on.
Yeah.
When I have nothing to do or something. Yeah.
I think it would be really, for the narrative's sake, it would be really cool if Derrick.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Has anyone ever won Sixth Man of the Year and MVP in their career?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. But Derrick Rose brings me to the next category. Most improved player. Can a former MVP win it?
I don't know.
So I saw, it's kind of a joke calling Derrick Rose most improved player. Because obviously he's won MVP before. And if you actually look at his career stats, his numbers this year are much closer to his usual season. They're just a little higher. And he's shooting much better.
Right.
But he just had a horrible season last year specifically. But for the most part, he's playing just above his career averages. But off the top of your head, you got any sixth man or most improved candidates? Because there's a bunch in the running for it.
I mean,
it's a stacked group.
I think J-Rich. Has been
That's right, boy.
Incredible.
Josh Richardson of the Miami Heat.
I'm not just trying to cater to your ego. Like
it's real.
His numbers are there.
Yeah, it's real. He's scoring 8 more points a game than last year.
And
his assists and rebounds have gone up. He's still playing great defense.
J-Rich is like someone who's like really is. 3-point shooting is really weird because he started off so hot.
I think he shot like 45% his rookie year.
Yeah, his rookie year he was shooting really, really well, and then it dipped. Like
his volume went up, and he didn't shoot as well.
Yeah, I think it just sort of regressed to the means when he shot more.
Yeah, he's shooting like 42% this year.
Every year he has incrementally improved.
He's shooting like 42% on like 6 shots a game.
Yeah,
he's shooting really well this year. He's just the thing that you watch when you watch him play. The thing he's struggling to overcome right now is being the guy.
Right.
Being the number one option at times seems to still be a little bit much for him.
Right.
There's time. Some games he's been great down the clutch. Some games he steps out of bounds when he's driving, or he turns the ball over, or he just completely misses a shot. And then other times he hits the shots when in the clutch period. He's been he's done both this year, and I think more than anything this year is the learning experience for him for learning to be that guy.
How old is he? 23?
25.
Oh, he's 25.
Because he went to college for at least 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Played at Tennessee. You got any other ones off the top of your head? Or on your notes?
Off the top of my notes.
You're like that rapper that goes to a cipher with a thing on his phone.
Vucci. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I haven't seen that anywhere. I haven't seen anyone talk about him as most improved.
Zach Lowe brought it up.
Okay.
So I mean, it's
He's
not
super
just
legit.
me being a homer. He's fucking tearing up the league. He's somebody who
he's balling.
He's somebody.
He might be an all-star.
In the past 2 years, he's upped his usage from 3 a lot, and it just benefited his offensive game so much.
He's also a really good passer.
Yeah. He's really solid passer, really good vision. He's someone who is just so unathletic and just not very athletically gifted, but can score.
He's got technique.
So much. He's just very skilled.
Yeah. He makes me think of like Nikola Jokic's more handsome big brother that is less of a savant.
But the other Nikola, fucking Vucci, has gone from 16.5 points a game to 20.8 points a game.
4 points.
His rebounds have gone up. His assists have gone up.
How many rebounds does he get per game?
11.1.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
And he's shooting 41%.
Is he getting more than 4 assists?
3.9.
Ooh, close.
3.9. Yeah.
I feel like 4 is that. I feel like 4 is that magic number where if you're a center and you're getting 4, you're an amazing passing center.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, it's more than our leading assists leader last year, Shelvin Mack, who was averaging 3.8 assists a game.
Just pathetic.
Yeah.
Your third string point guard last year was your leading assist man with less than 4 assists per game. That's crazy.
Right.
Get some ball movement.
I mean, I haven't looked at the stats as far as how many assists per game Elfrid Payton was getting before he left.
That's true. I'm sure he was up there.
Apparently, Shelvin Mack has been playing fucking great for the Grizzlies, too.
Well, yeah, of course. You get in that grit and grind culture. You see what happens. You get yourself out of Orlando if you want to play better. Look at Victor Oladipo.
Yep.
I'll give you some more names here. The most popular one that flies around is Zach LaVine. A lot of people think Zach LaVine's gonna have the shot at that. De'Aaron Fox, which I think is interesting. When you're that young and you can already be up for most improved
players,
seems kind of early for that, right? It
yeah.
seems like maybe he's just a lottery pick that's playing really well.
Yeah.
But he's been great this year.
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell again.
Yeah.
Not just 6-man, but also most improved. Ripped to his legs, but Karis LeVert was definitely in the running before he got hurt. He was playing really great, and he seemed to be the centerpiece of the Nets' future. And he still is. The injury isn't... It was gross to look at, but it's not. It shouldn't dampen his future.
He's supposed to be back by the end of the season, right?
Yeah, they're hoping he can come back before the season ends. Domantas Sabonis is on here again. I saw a lot of people saying. Jay Rich, Tim Hardaway Jr. I saw a lot on the Knicks. He's been scoring a lot. It's Knicks fans, so they blow up everything. But whenever Tim Hardaway Jr. comes up, they're like all-star. Pump the brakes. We'll see. Pascal Siakam.
My boy, Pascal Siakam.
Chris thinks the entire Raptors bench name is Pascal Siakam.
You got Kyle Lowry, you got Kawhi Leonard, and Pascal Siakam.
No Serge Ibaka or Jonas Valanciunas?
They're
also Pascal Siakam?
You mean Pascal Siakam and Pascal Siakam?
No OG Anunoby, just Pascal Siakam?
His points per game is just
and they start him now instead of OG at the 4, and he's like this... the finisher badge in 2K? Yeah, he's got that.
Yeah.
He's got that finisher badge. I don't know who I would pick right now. The homer in me would want to pick Jay Rich.
I think outside of... I'm not a Miami Heat fan. I've just through the virtue of osmosis, I've watched a lot more Heat games with you.
Yeah.
But, Jay Rich, the numbers are there.
Yeah. Yeah, and his points per game have jumped, I think, more than anybody else on this list.
Yeah. Like for me, before he got hurt, it was Karis LeVert and then Jay Rich. But now
he's scoring more per game than Karis LeVert was, though. Karis LeVert was scoring 18.
Was the jump as big though?
I think Jay Rich went from 12.5 to 20, and I think Karis LeVert went from like 11 to 18 or something like that, or 12 to 18. It was more than Karis LeVert's, I think. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I thought Karis is like, I thought he was averaging like 23 points a game or something,
18.
Something ridiculous.
It was 18.
Okay.
Let's jump to a juicy one. Rookie of the year.
Is this juicy? I feel like it's kind of obvious.
It's juicy because everybody loves Luka.
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic, baby.
I feel like out of all, if you were to have the awards today, and I had to bet on one of the awards, I would be Luka Doncic winning
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
that dude has been cold-blooded.
Yeah,
he's crazy. Like I didn't buy into the. So during the build up to the draft, it was, can Luka Doncic do the things he does in Europe in the NBA? And I was like, yeah, he can. Like, look at that dude play. He has so much skill. Mm-hmm. It's not like he was relying on athleticism to do things. And the debate was that because he wasn't as athletic, he might not be able to do it against more athletic players. Mm-hmm. But he's so skilled, has such good technique. He's such a good shooter.
Yeah.
And the dude's got this thing that you need. He's got that trigger in his head where he wants to kill you.
Yeah,
he's got that killer mentality.
Yeah, you mean more? At first, I thought you were talking about like IQ, which he does have a high basketball IQ, but he has that like, I mean, alpha is kind of a douchey word.
I guess this is more. He's got this.
Yeah, he's
got a killer mentality.
Yeah, like because
he wants the ball at the buzzer.
Steph Curry doesn't have like an alpha.
No, but he's a killer.
But he has that like.
Guess
what, motherfucker?
They call him Skyfucker for a reason.
Yeah. Like he does have that. I'm the best person on the court.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna prove it to you.
You don't shimmy down the court if you don't feel that way.
Yeah. Luka has been playing incredible.
Buries
crazy fun to watch.
Luka buries high difficulty step backs on everybody.
His step back has become a thing. You got James Harden, you got Kemba, and you got Luka.
If you didn't say Kemba, I was going to reach across his couch and smack you because Kemba has the best step back. If you like James Harden's step back more, fight me.
Yeah?
Dude, Kemba's step back.
I think they're just different, dude.
It's so sexy, dude. He covers so much ground with his step back. It freaks me out. It looks like he teleports.
I like Inception. I like The Dark Knight. They're just different. Okay. Is one better than the other? I don't know.
Okay. The Dark Knight's better. Yeah. Other rookies who you could be like, here's who might win second. DeAndre Ayton, the number one pick, has been playing really well. Mm-hmm.
So what's your top three? So take Luka out of the running.
Luka, Ayton. So the other ones on this list I have are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, your boy, has been playing really well. Another one off the Clippers bench who's been playing really well. Jaren Jackson Jr., who we talked about earlier, been playing really well for the Grizzlies. Been making that really switchable front court for them with Marc Gasol. And Trae Young's on the list, but I would not put Trae Young in the top three. He's shooting way too bad, and his shot profile is ass. He shredded the Heat last week. Shredded us with his passing is amazing.
I think that people misunderstand Trae Young.
Yeah.
And I think that...
Dude, if he stopped taking 2 or 3 of the 30-foot pull-ups he took a game, he'd be playing great.
Yeah.
But he's an idiot sometimes. Like, why is he taking those shots?
But people also don't understand. People are, and I think it goes along with the main problem of the highlight culture within sports, and specifically in the NBA. A lot of people they see highlights and they figure they know who a person is, and it's just not an adequate way to evaluate a player's talent. And Trae Young is someone that you cannot evaluate
through highlights.
Yeah,
because you're going to see him splashing down 30-foot jump shots.
People are the easiest comparison in the world to make with Trae Young is Steph Curry. Yeah. And it's wrong.
Yeah, he doesn't play
It's the wrong comp.
Yeah.
You know who I think is the right comp?
Nash.
Steve Nash is close. I would say Chris Paul.
Okay.
I would say Chris
Nowhere
Paul.
near the defender, though. Nowhere near the defender.
He's the defender.
He's a bad defender.
Nowhere near the defender. But the passing ability.
Okay.
Fucking... if you look at like the per 36 stats right now, like fucking Trae Young is averaging more assists per game than LeBron, than John Stockton, than and the only one that's like close, like that in the rookie year that is like a great all-time passer is Chris Paul.
Even Magic Johnson.
I didn't look at Magic Johnson's per 36. But fucking Trae Young's greatest attribute.
If you put his numbers in 2K, his highest score would be his passing.
His passing.
Yeah.
He is a top 5 passer in the league right now as a
bold
rookie.
Statement. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at his assists per game, it's
way up there.
He's like 3.
Yeah, because isn't Kyle Lowry leading right now?
Kyle Lowry's up
like
there.
10
John
and a half.
Wall and Trae Young.
Are John Wall with those empty assists.
But yeah, I mean, he's an incredible passer, and a lot of people are just like, oh, well, he's a scorer. That's his thing, and I think that will come though.
But do you think that he's trying to be someone he's not? With the way he attacks the game, like why is he taking multiple 30-foot threes? Most of every 2 weeks you see a highlight of him hitting one of them, but he misses 9 of them in between. Like, what's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
He's a gunner. And I think there's going to be a time when he starts hitting them.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be a time when he's 19, 20 years old. He's just going to develop into it. But in the types of players that come into the league just like hitting the ground running are the Jaren Jackson Juniors, like the bigger guys. I think that especially
that's
very
true.
Small
Bigs do seem to
very
adapt
small
quicker.
guard, especially point guards. When there's so much more of a learning curve as a point guard, and I think that you take longer to develop.
Yeah,
and especially with how long the runway is for the Atlanta Hawks right now, might as well just let Trae Young do his thing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Well, I mean, we were watching them play the other night because they were playing the Heat, and one of the things their coach had mentioned in an interview was that he doesn't talk to Trae about his shot selection during the game. He basically, during the game, if Trae takes whatever shots he wants, then the next day they're going to sit down, they're going to look it over, they're going to talk about what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
Which I think that's a good approach. I think letting him figure it out on the fly is good. I don't want to act like I don't want people to think I don't like Trae Young.
Yeah.
I think Trae Young is going to be a really good player. I just think that I wouldn't put him in the top 3 in the Rookie of the Year yet.
I agree. I would agree with you. I knew coming into the league, I said that it would. People are going to claim that he's a bust way too early.
Well, I mean, we talked about this too recently. I mean, we were talking today. There was the reports that the Knicks are willing to trade Frank Ntilikina, who was literally drafted last year.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Markelle Fultz, who was drafted last year. It's a little bit different circumstance for Markelle because of all the mental stuff and injuries and everything. But it's just the idea of giving up on a lottery pick so fast is so crazy to me. There's no patience.
Well, it's especially weird with the Knicks because, he wasn't the number 1 overall pick.
He was like 10th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a late lottery pick, if that. But he also he doesn't have the weird shit going on with his mental stuff, and also I mean they
knew he was going to be. Yeah, they're a tanking team.
Yeah,
and
for
the
76ers, it's a weird situation because they're trying to win right now. Yeah. After making the trade for Jimmy Butler, it's not the best situation for Markelle Fultz, and I think they know that. Markelle knows that. So
give him to the Magic.
So it's a smart. It's just, I mean, it's a smarter decision to trade him away.
But the Frank thing makes no sense because they're a tanking team until Kristaps comes back from his injury. Yeah, which is not till next year. Yeah. I mean, even if he plays a little bit this year, they're not going to be trying to win until next year. And he was a player who, when you took him, you knew was going to be a player that took a long time to develop.
Yeah,
that's what everyone knew and said about him. His offensive game was going to take time. But he's a bulldog of a defender, and he's a long boy. Yeah, which is why John Hammond might try to make that move.
I'd be cool. I'd be cool with either one of them.
So, would you agree that Luka and DeAndre Ayton are number 1 and 2?
Or
would you put someone above Ayton?
I might put Jaren Jackson Jr. too.
Dang, okay.
Just his two-way ability.
He's definitely better on the defensive end. Than DeAndre is.
He's averaging like 2.1 blocks a game and 2.1 blocks a game and 1 steal a game.
That's really good.
And DeAndre Ayton is averaging less than one.
-1 block per game.
-1 block, which you shouldn't.
You should get every open layup a center gives up should be -1 block. No, it'd be super brutal.
But yeah, I mean, I would say Jaren Jackson Jr., man.
I can dig that. I'm not going to go against you.
Yeah.
I think that Luke is easily the pick, though.
Yeah.
That one's.
Yeah.
I think you're probably
he's
right
the easy
about.
number one.
In terms of like the odds of any of these winners, I think he's the easiest odds so far. Let's talk about the big one. Most valuable player.
Yep.
Let's address the award itself for a moment first, because I've always been a little bit confused by MVP. Because in some cases, it seems like the MVP just goes to the best player on the best team. But that seems like it goes against what the award means, right?
Like, I wouldn't say that it's the best player on the best team as much as the Heisman is.
Highest what?
The Heisman.
Okay.
The Heisman Trophy.
Okay.
I feel like the Heisman is more of that kind of thing. But
Okay.
I think that you could be on not the best team in the league. Like Russell Westbrook. I mean, he was not on the best team.
he was the first person in something like 15 years to win the MVP award that wasn't on like a top 3 seed.
Right.
So historically it is
Okay.
the best player on one of the best teams.
Okay.
Which seems to me a little bit like going against that seems like the best player award more than most valuable. Most valuable to me seems like it should mean if you take them off the team crumbles the most.
Which right now would be like Kemba. Like,
Yeah, well, obvious. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kemba might be the number one. It's any team LeBron's on.
Right.
Like that's the argument. LeBron could win it every year, but there's voter fatigue of just keep giving it. If you keep giving it to him, there's no, what it's like. You get tired of it. Yeah, it's kind of like how we've gotten tired of how good he is. You don't even realize it anymore. But I think Giannis is a kind of a perfect example of meshing those two ideals together. If you took him off the Bucks, I think it would hurt them a lot. And he's also on one of the best teams, and he's the best player on his team.
Right.
So to me, Giannis is the front runner. He'd be my choice right now. Any other tops to you?
So I would say right now Giannis is the front runner. But if I had to bet on one person to win it this year, I would have put LeBron.
Okay. If they go on a run and get like a top 4 seed, for sure.
Well, I think that the numbers are there. I think that I don't know. I feel like something's gonna happen.
His numbers are crazy.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
He's stupid.
As far as people that I would put in the MVP race right now, Giannis, LeBron, I would put Joel in there.
Yep.
I would also put Kemba in there.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like he deserves it. You know what's something kind of what's kind of crazy? Kemba did like before this season. The most points that he averaged a game in a season is 23.2.
Yeah, he's got 27.4 right now. 27.
But I feel like if you asked me before this season, like,
You'd
hey,
think it was like 27.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, he's probably averaged like 29 points a game.
Yeah. Which that's like a stupid high number, but
a stupid high number. But that's what Kemba does.
Kemba scores so much. Yeah. Not only is Kemba getting 27.4, but he also gets 6.3 assists, and he's shooting really well.
Really good.
Yeah, he's balling. Other names that I've seen crop up, besides those 4, Giannis, LeBron, Joel seems to be the consensus top 3 right now. Kawhi comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant has been coming up a lot because of, especially the past like 2 weeks, he's been going bananas on people.
Yeah, you're welcome, Kevin Durant.
He's averaging 30.1 points a game right now. That's crazy. I saw Kyle Lowry come up a lot, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. So basketball. Did you look on Basketball Reference?
Yeah, I looked on there and a couple others. Yeah.
I thought it was garbage.
Okay.
I didn't really like that list.
The Basketball Reference list?
Yeah, because like LeBron was like a 6% chance to win.
I don't know
MVP.
how they determine. I don't know how.
I have no idea what their algorithm is,
I don't
but
know.
I feel like it's garbage.
That's like when I look at win probabilities in football games. I'm like, that's crap. None of it means anything.
Right.
Well, there's a 72% chance halfway through the third quarter that this team won the game. And then by the end of the fourth quarter, they would 2%.
Stop. It doesn't mean anything. A 3-possession game is a 3-possession game in football. There's ways to win that game. It's been done endless amounts of times. It's same thing in basketball. It's like, we're a quarter of the way through the season, and LeBron is averaging 28.6, 8, 6.7, 1.49. and he's shooting 37% from 3 and 51 from the field. The dude has a shot at MVP. I don't care what your percentage is.
Yeah.
He's also LeBron. The only other name that we haven't mentioned yet that I saw on list was basically it said, if you're going to say Kemba, then you also have to say Damian Lillard.
Okay.
Because they play similar styles, and they both play point guards that score a lot, and they both carry their teams a lot of the time. Obviously, Dame has CJ, and Kemba has no one.
He has a little bit more
than he used to.
He has a little bit less of no one this year than he has had in previous
but
years.
He doesn't have CJ McCollum.
No, true.
He doesn't have an all-star on his team.
The Blazers are a better team than the Hornets.
For sure.
But
God, if there's
I wouldn't shit on the Hornets as much this year.
If there's one dude that I would be like, yo, trade for him, it'd be Kemba Walker. For the Heat.
Oh, really?
Like, if you were like, we're going to trade Goran Dragic, one young dude, and a pick for Kemba Walker, I'd be like, I get it. Do it. Because Kemba and J. Rich.
Like one young dude like
Justice or Bam.
Yeah.
I'd be really sad if it was Justice because I love Justice, but I believe in him.
Honestly, I like Bam more than I like Justice.
Most people do.
Yeah.
But you haven't been watching the Heat since Justice was drafted. And you weren't there for the 30-11 run. True. And you weren't there when Justice played center as a rookie in the playoffs against Serge Ibaka and Jonas Valanciunas and brought the Heat. That dude is competitive as hell. I love Justice Winslow. I love him.
Yeah.
I just wish he was more efficient around the rim. Drives me nuts. I wish he had bigger hands.
Is that a thing? Does he have
they call him
hands?
baby hands because
really?
he can't palm a basketball.
Oh, that sucks.
Which, like, it's a joke, but it actually affects his finishing ability, not being able to palm the ball.
It's practical as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
it literally, if he had bigger hands, he'd be better at finishing.
Yeah,
it's silly, but it's true.
Well, like it makes you better at.
It's like why do they measure things?
It makes you better at finishing. Makes you better at ball handling. Yeah. It makes you better on defense.
Mm-hmm. He's a great defender, though.
Yeah.
That's the MVP list that I saw.
Yeah, I would pretty much. Okay, what do you think about Jokic being involved in the MVP race?
I haven't seen anything about it, but I would understand it. I think he'd be low. Like, I mean, when they released the MVP voting, they literally released 1 through 10. And it's like, the top percentage is, the 3 guys at the top or whatever. But I could see him being in that top 10.
Like, understand him being... I feel like he's a surefire all-star.
Oh, yeah.
But MVP, I feel like, is just out of reach. Like, isn't he averaging like 18 points a game?
Well, I mean, when you go through games where you take 2 shots, he needs to be more assertive.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's also might be the least athletic person in the NBA.
Well, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to be like, okay, that's a surefire MVP. Or he's in the MVP race, even contending.
Kyle Lowry, if you're okay with it, he's only averaging 15, but he also has 10.5 assists per game and plays great defense.
Right.
And is, I would say, without a doubt, the spiritual leader of that team.
Right.
Kawhi is the best player on the team, but Kyle Lowry is the leader of the team.
I also wouldn't include Kyle Lowry in the MVP race.
He wouldn't be in your top 10?
No, I'd put Kawhi in there, but I wouldn't.
Okay. Interesting. I think that's who. So before going in to the season, it was kind of thought that the Warriors, Rockets, Celtics, Raptors, Sixers were kind of our finals contenders on both sides. Has that changed at all for you? I'd elevate the Sixers into the conversation now. So I'm sorry, not Sixers. I'd elevate the Bucks into the conversation now.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes,
in the East.
I'm not sure how much the actual teams have changed, but the reshuffling of the teams.
Rockets.
I would say that the Rockets have lost stock.
For sure.
They're not playing very well right now.
Chris Paul's been hurt. They've been playing horrible defense.
Yeah.
And I think losing Trevor Ariza really hurt them.
Mm-hmm. And what's his face? Ba Mute.
Yeah, look, Ba Mute.
Yeah, their offense hasn't been as efficient. They're playing awful defense, and yeah, they haven't been winning games. And who knows how much of it is because of injury.
Yeah.
They just got James Harden back, and CP3 is about to come back too. So,
but like, how long can you keep relying on him? He's like 36 years old or something.
Chris
I mean,
Paul?
obviously he's still a great player, but I mean, at a certain point, you have to sit down and realize that he has had ankle or hamstring injuries every year for the past like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you can't keep being, well, we don't have Chris Paul. We don't, like, he's old.
Right.
What are you without him?
Yeah, you should be factoring that into your decision.
And into your team building.
Yeah.
You don't just go get Michael Carter-Williams and hope it's going to be okay.
Yeah, obviously the fucking Carmelo thing didn't
They should
work
go
out.
trade for Jeremy Lin, dude.
Yeah, that'd be. I feel
They have the China connection. That's a real thing. The Rockets are like huge in China because of Yao Ming.
Mm-hmm.
He could sell merchandise there.
Mm-hmm.
The fan base would really embrace him. Don't their city jerseys have Chinese on them? Or is that fake? I don't remember. I feel like it might.
I know the
Warriors
the
Chinatown
Warriors-
ones from last year did. That was for Chinatown in
Okay.
San Fran. Yeah, I would say that. Obviously, like the Warriors is weird because Steph got hurt and Draymond freaked out and hurt his toe. Okay, the weird thing with Draymond, but they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think the Warriors.
There's
are
no
just
worries
gonna
about
be,
them.
I think they're going to be just fine.
Are there any like dark horses though? I think the Bucks before the season were kind of a dark horse, but now it's like, oh, this is the Bucks. They're really good. They might be the best team in the East.
Right.
I think the Thunder might be kind of a dark horse. They've been playing really well. They went on a tear
Well, and they're also there's somebody that can beat anybody. I think
in one game. If
yeah.
the basketball playoffs were like the NFL playoffs, the Thunder could win the championship.
True.
But they're not, so they probably won't. Mm-hmm. But you're right. Their Thunder are a team that could beat anyone because if Russell and Paul George are hot on the same night, goodbye. That's 90 points between them or something like that with other dudes that can score. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. If there is a dark horse, I think the Thunder are a good bet.
Lakers, obviously,
The
just because
Nuggets.
it's possible.
I think the Nuggets are.
Nuggets are like the definition of a dark horse.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they're going to hold up in a playoff environment when they're playing elite teams in 7-game series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I feel like Jokic, as great as he is, can be exposed in the playoffs really badly.
Right.
Because
On defense.
of his defense, yeah.
Right.
And even like Jamal Murray, too, a little bit.
Right.
And that doubling down of having Jamal Murray and Gary Harris, like basically being the same player on the court at the same time could hurt them. I think that'd be a lot of fun to watch in the playoffs, though, because those dudes can score.
Mm-hmm.
Score points. I saw this on ESPN. The question was, because the Clippers are the 1 seed, are the Clippers a contender in the West? And I thought that's a weird question, right? Because when you say contender in the West to me, it means, do you think the Clippers can get to the conference finals? That's what that question means to me.
Right.
And I'm like, no, definitely not.
No.
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 In the West? No.
No.
Can they make the playoffs? Sure. They can definitely make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they will make the playoffs, and I think that they're going to be a regular season darling. But yeah, I don't think that they're going to make.
There's something weird. It's like the opposite of football. Depth in basketball matters less in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in football, having that depth is super important.
Right.
Mostly because of injuries, but also like when you get into the playoffs and your starting lineup is, I don't even know what there's. I know they have Tobias Harris, and they have Patrick Beverly and Avery Bradley. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you their whole starting lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got those bench guys. We talked about Montrezl Harrell. We talked about Lou Will. We talked about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I couldn't tell you their full lineup.
Right.
Oh, Gallinari and whoever their center is.
Right.
I don't know who it is. Oh, wait. Yes,
Boban.
I do. No. Well, Boban, yes. But it's Marcin Gortat.
Yeah, but he was starting over Gortat for a little bit.
The prophecy
Yeah.
is being fulfilled? Dude, I saw DeAndre Ayton just played him.
Yeah.
And like he got like shut down by Boban.
Yeah.
And in the interview after the game, he was like, They were like, "What did Boban do that like messed with your rhythm so bad?" He was like, "He's just huge. He's a huge guy." Boban is the definition of huge. I think that's it for basketball.
Yeah.
I think we covered pretty well what's been going on at the quarter season mark. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. Hoping the Heat can turn it around though. I have much less fun when the Heat aren't. I don't expect the Heat to win the final. I don't expect the Heat to get any further than, like, at best, the second round of the playoffs. But it's not fun when they're losing, like, 3 and 4 games straight. And they're blowing 20-point leads and getting beat by 20 on other... It's just, like, it's just not them.
Okay. All right. I'll give you this. I'll give you this real quick. Agree or disagree. This year's NBA trade deadline will be crazier than last year's trade deadline.
So last year's NBA trade deadline was basically the craziest NBA trade deadline ever. I think that it's going to be a trend, though, that every trade deadline is crazy. And I think it's leaking from the NBA into other sports.
Yeah.
Even in the NFL this year, there was there's like something like 8 or 9 trades, I think, around the deadline, and that never happens in the NFL, ever. I would argue the NFL should push back their trade deadline. It's too early in the season. I think if they pushed it back, they would get more action, like on the trade deadline. But I digress. I think that it'll be as crazy or crazier. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
I think, especially with the upcoming
Look out for Vucci.
the upcoming free agency period, and how many people are going to be available, I think that there's going to be a lot of movement.
People trying to clear cap space.
Yeah.
Or trying to get teams ready to, like, are the Knicks going to do something to be like, hey, Kevin Durant, come play here.
Right.
We've got Kristaps Porzingis and blah, blah for you to join you. Something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Are the Heat going to be like, we're fucked. We need to get some of these contracts off our books no matter what it takes and send dudes away and give people draft picks to do it? I hope not. I don't like that. I say just play through 2020 with the squad because these are the boys. They're the little engine that went on that 30-11 run, and they're fun to watch and they love each other, and I love them. And I'm, if we're not going to be that good for the next 2 years until cap space comes off in 2020, I'd rather watch them play together than tank. I hate tanking. I like watching other teams tank, but I don't like when my team tanks.
Right. See, I'm okay with it. I would be surprised if
but
Vucevic
I'm
is
also
on our team.
I'm more spoiled than you are. Like, the Heat, for the most part, have been consistently really good.
Yeah.
The whole time I've liked the NBA.
Yeah.
From like prime D Wade through, there's only been like one season that we missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
So whereas when's the last time the Magic made the playoffs?
7 years ago.
I call that.
I think that we're second behind the Kings.
I call
the
this
last time that we played the
Miami
playoffs.
Dolphins syndrome.
Yeah.
You've grown numb to mediocrity.
Right. Well, I mean, beyond mediocrity. Right
Yeah.
now we're mediocre. We're playing up to mediocre right now.
Reaching for mediocrity.
But yeah, but like I also, with the upcoming rookie class and how talented
they're
they
real
are,
good.
I want to see what John Hammond can do with these higher draft picks.
I like John. I like what John Hammond is doing, and I like what Steve Clifford's been doing.
Yeah.
I think Steve
he's
Clifford's
a good
done a good.
coach.
I think Steve Clifford's done a good job with the team he has.
And I just hope that he fucking sticks around, man. I had no problem with Frank Vogel, but I hope that John Hammond.
I said it earlier about Frank Ntilikina. There's no patience. Drives me crazy. There's no patience in front offices. There's no patience from fan bases for sure. People are busts after the first. Trae Young is literally being called a bust by people. He's been in the league for a quarter of a season. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's completely crazy. Like, to me, you have to give people at least a couple years to define who they are.
Yeah. That's like when LeBron was asked about Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
He was like, he doesn't even have a full. Does he have 82 games yet?
Yeah.
He's like, does he have 82 games?
It's
yet?
crazy.
He doesn't even have a full
Lonzo's
season.
been playing pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's another one that people wanted to. He's just because they're so hyped and so. People are so diametrically opposed on their perspectives of a particular player.
Darko is a bust.
Huh?
Not Frank Ntilikina. Darko is a bust. Not Frank Ntilikina. Also, when can you when are you just too late in the draft to be a bust? Because I feel like as fans, we've been a little bit spoiled, especially with last year's draft, which was bonkers. But generally speaking, being the 10th pick in the NBA, you hope you get a solid player. You know, you're not like, oh, here comes my future all-star at the 10th pick.
True.
So it's this weird thing where like temper your expectations for people, which it kind of, I think, attributes to highlight culture that you were talking about. If you go watch all of people's highlights from when they were in college and they get picked, you know, with the 24th pick, and then you find, oh, they're not Kyle Kuzma. You know, they don't have that explosion that almost no mid-20s picks have. You can't be mad about it.
Or like a 16th pick, like Donovan Mitchell. You know?
Yeah. That doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't.
I mean, I see people, Heat fans, talk about Justice Winslow as a bust a lot. Is he a bust or not? He was a 10th pick. He is what a 10th pick should be. Right. He's great at one thing, and he's serviceable in lots of things, and he's not very good at finishing around the rim. But he's a great defender. He's a good passer. He can run the point, and he shoots threes at a pretty solid clip. I mean, better than he used to. It's gone up a lot. He's gotten more and more consistent with the three. But it's just, I have a big problem with just the impatience in the sports world.
That's why, like, it's really refreshing to see guys like Brett Brown. You know,
Yep.
somebody who has just been through the shit.
Yeah.
And
He was there for the process.
and they stuck with him.
Yeah. I would argue, though, if he doesn't, I don't know if it's conference finals, but he better win at least one playoff. I would 2 get you into the conference finals, or 3?
2.
So yeah, if he loses in the second round and it's not close, a la Dwayne Casey, they might fire him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we've talked about before, I think that the process's timeline has changed.
Right.
And the time is now, and it's no longer.
That would be so fucking sad.
Yeah, it'd be really sad. And it'd be even more sad if they then brought in someone who then, you know, went to the finals or something with them. And it's like, oh, look, they did a great job. But like, come on, Brett Brown was there for all of it. He deserved to be there for that.
Is that as sad as like if they just sucked after that? You know, like if the next coach was like,
well, then you could Elton Brand could kiss his job goodbye if that happened.
Yeah.
That would be really bad.
Yeah.
Oh man, if they had to reset.
Did Elton Brand play for Brett Brown?
Brett Brown. How long has he been coaching the Sixers? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe near the end of his career, because I know Brett Brown was with the Spurs.
That'd be so weird.
Before he was a head coach, he was with the Spurs.
That'd be so weird if he was your
That'd
coach
be
and you had to
super
fire
weird.
him.
Yeah, that'd be super weird. I want to jump over to something. It's a bit more serious, but it's still sports. Do you know any of these names? Well, I know you know Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
Do you know Reuben Foster?
Sounds familiar.
Reuben Foster is a linebacker, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, played for Alabama in college. He was first-round pick last year. Do you know Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of his name today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kareem Hunt is a former running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. Played for Toledo in college, I think. He's been in the league for a few years. This has been a bad week for the NFL.
Okay.
In an optics standpoint. It's been a great week for them on the field and in terms of ratings. They just had their Thursday night game between the Saints and the Cowboys. Was the highest rated Thursday night football game of all time.
Mm-hmm. It was probably because of that commercial with the old lady.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The one with the airplane, and like she's on an airplane and she's not getting live TV.
Oh, that horrible commercial! The build-up commercial, that was so bad. What kind of airline pilot would be like, "Well, it's not the end of the world." That's like the worst thing an employee can say to someone. But yeah.
Continue.
Anyway, despite the and ratings throughout the season have been going up,
right.
up. This week, Adrian Peterson admitted that he still disciplines his son with a switch,
mm-hmm.
which he was suspended for a couple years ago.
Right.
Reuben Foster was arrested for domestic violence in a team hotel while in Tampa. I think they were in Tampa for an away game. He was previously tried and then found not guilty of domestic assault and has been disciplined by the league before for multiple drug issues as well as the domestic problem. He was immediately cut by the 49ers and is now facing discipline in the near future. Today, as of this recording, a video emerged of Kareem Hunt shoving and kicking a woman in a hotel And the league and team had apparently known about this since February, but they had never been showed the video. They never got the video. They tried to, this is what they've been saying. They tried to get the video from the hotel, and the hotel said, we do not give security footage to anyone but law enforcement. And the police would not give it to the NFL. Somehow, TMZ worked their magic, and they got it. And they released it today, which is the same thing that happened to Ray Rice. The NFL didn't get the video of Ray Rice punching his fiance in an elevator.
Right.
Like cold. Like knocked her out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've seen the Ray Rice video.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
This is not on that level. It's not as violent, but it's still not good. It's still not good. He's shoving and he keeps coming back, and his friends are trying to, they're trying to stop him, and he keeps coming back and pushing, and then the woman falls down and he kicks her. It's really bad. It's really bad. But there's he was cut today. The Chiefs statement said, it was a pretty strong statement. They said something along the lines of, we met with Kareem in February when this was brought to our attention, and we had conversation with Kareem about what happened, and he lied to us. And with the emergence of the new evidence, Kareem Hunt will no longer be a Kansas City Chief.
Okay.
Cut him. Gonzo.
Right.
Thing that makes this kind of interesting. Reuben Foster was cut last week as well after the assault in the hotel room, which there was no video for. It was just the police showed up. Police were called. He was cut, and when you're cut in the NFL, you go on waivers, which means any other team in the league can choose to take on your contract and not have to negotiate a new deal with you. And there's like a waiver claim order, like the worst team, I think, the lowest seeded team in the league gets the first option to the last. The Washington Redskins, claimed Reuben Foster on waivers, which means Reuben Foster is now being paid to not play football while waiting to find out if he goes to jail, because he's on something called the Commissioner's Exempt List, which means he can't play. He can't practice, he can't play, he can't be around. Kareem Hunt was also put on the same list.
He can't practice or anything.
Can't practice or anything.
Okay.
So he is a Redskin, but he's not.
Right.
He has a roster spot, but that's it.
Okay.
And he still receives his basic guaranteed whatever guaranteed money is in his contract, he still gets.
Okay.
I just think that this speaks to, it's a weird culture thing, I think in sports in general, but it seems like in the NFL a lot, where these things crop up. And it just raises a moral question to me of like, what, because I know that most guys in the NFL are good people that help their communities a lot, and they're just great men, and they've done nothing wrong, and they're just playing football, and they're just entertainers,
Right.
artists, if you will. But it seems like it happens so much in the NFL. These bad crimes that happen, and it makes me wonder, like, what is the line for supporting the product? You know what I mean? Because there's been a lot of talk today about, in the lead up, I'm glad we recorded tonight, because I've been able to see the Kareem Hunt stuff all come to fruition throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Because the talk was, in the beginning, how long did the NFL and the Chiefs know about this without doing anything? And the question now is, if the video never came out, would anything have ever happened? Because the dude clearly needs to be tried for his crime. You know, something needs to happen, and it's on video.
Okay.
And it just brings up this almost a morality question, and it just makes me uncomfortable. And I'm not saying that like I think that you should boycott the NFL,
Right.
but it just seems like with all the resources they have, that this stuff shouldn't be happening as much as it does.
Right. But it's also like, it is the violence that is inherent to the NFL, is that sort of breeding this process in which like you're finding very violent
people because it's a violent sport.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I feel like I don't ever hear about, hockey players going off the rails.
Right.
Hockey's not as public. It's not as popular. So maybe we just don't hear about it as much. Hockey's a violent sport, though. Mm-hmm. We do hear about it a little bit in MMA.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, look at Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy was kicked out of the NFL for domestic violence and is now fighting in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me uncomfortable. And it's also like if you go to court and you go through due process and, you know, if you're not sent to jail or, you know, whatever happens to you, should you be allowed to come back? You know, I have such a hard time juggling what all this means.
Yeah, but like also there's the varying degrees of it. Like,
Yeah.
So you brought up there's very varying levels of violence here. You know, like what Ray Rice did was just straight awful.
Yeah.
You should be.
And
in
he's
jail.
never been back in the NFL since.
Yeah. And I would say that, yeah, that's fine. He shouldn't have that job. But it's like Adrian Peterson, that's a different thing. Like, I don't think that you should abuse your child.
Have you ever seen the pictures of his kid?
No.
It was pretty bad.
Oh, really?
He was scarred.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Switch, dude.
Yeah.
Not like a ladle or, you know, not like a grandma with a ruler.
Yeah.
Switch.
My mom used a wooden spoon.
Yeah. And I think it speaks to an old school...
It's very traditional.
It's an old school discipline mentality, you know, that you'll hear like older people say it.
Yeah.
That kid just needs a good beating.
Yeah, or you know, yeah, like my mama beat me and I turned out just fine.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. And I don't think I mean, I don't believe in the avoidance of discipline, but should that take place in a violent form? I don't know. I'm not a father. I don't know how I would be with my kids. I think that's something that that's a road I haven't crossed yet.
I think there's a difference between like spanking your kid and hitting them with a switch.
Right.
There's a big difference.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. But it's like, at what point do you intervene and you say like, well, you shouldn't be playing football because of what you're doing.
And then, you know, there's
life.
people that are going to outcry innocent until proven guilty. Well, that applies to the law. It doesn't apply to a private company's willingness to give you a job.
Right.
Right? If the NFL deems you unfit to work for them, it has nothing to do with your standing with the law.
Yeah.
It has everything to do.
That's a very double-edged sword.
Yeah, it has innocent until proven guilty has nothing to do with your public standing.
Mm-hmm.
You see that a lot with politicians that get accused of things. You see it a lot with CEOs that get accused of sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. You'll see the outcry of innocent until proven guilty, or actors, the same thing. But it's yes. In terms of going to jail, you are innocent until proven guilty. But in the public eye, that's not a promise. That's a different animal. Mm-hmm. And for right or wrong, because you can be wrongly slandered. It can happen. It has happened. Mm-hmm. But it's just this weird line of, and you know what?
Well, and other things that, you know, things that are absolutely and completely legal, like the Colin Kaepernick situation.
That was one of the.
I mean, that's the double-edged
sword. That
sword
was another thing I was going to bring up. The Reuben Foster thing is the best example. A dude who has been in the league for less than 2 years has been disciplined multiple times for legality issues and has now been cut by the team that drafted him in the first round of the draft.
Right.
This is a very talented young player. Has been cut, and he was claimed on waivers. And Colin Kaepernick can't even get a tryout for a team.
Right.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he kneels during the national anthem.
And you're a firm believer that like Colin Kaepernick should be...
At the very least, Colin Kaepernick is one of the 64 best quarterbacks to play football, meaning he can be a backup somewhere, at the very least.
At the very least.
There's some teams with some crap starters he might be able to start for, but at the very least, if you evenly distributed the world's... if you evenly distributed the world's talent at quarterback, he would be a backup on a team.
Right.
And it's just silly that doesn't have a job. And people will tell you that he's had offers, but it's, you know, we'll give you the $1.5 million minimum for something like that. And he rightfully said, no, I know my worth. I'm not going to play for peanuts.
Right.
Or whatever the saying is. Is that what it is? Peanuts or pennies? I think it's peanuts.
I mean,
No,
pennies makes sense, but you play for peanuts.
There's a real saying. I think it's play for peanuts.
Yeah, peanuts because elephants.
Yeah.
When
elephants play, you give them peanuts.
Yeah, when they play football, you give them peanuts in exchange.
But I would say that I think the way that it was handled today with Kareem Hunt, when I first saw the news, I was shocked. Number one, just because it's bad. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing. Mm-hmm. Number two, the Chiefs are one of the hottest teams in the league. The Chiefs are a team that are a Super Bowl contender this year. Before he was cut, when the questions were being asked, and it was, how long have they known about this? It just made me so uncomfortable, because how much is the NFL hiding, or our teams hiding, to try to win football games? Because if that's happening, it's just wrong.
It's fucked up.
It's so wrong. But I think the way that the Chiefs handled it today was I think it was done really well. They cut him immediately when the video came out, and they made a pretty strong public statement about it. And I think by NFL rules, he's never had any former problems, so he's going to get like a 6-game suspension, I think is the general rule. I think first time offender is a 6-game suspension, and I think after that you're out. It's like an indefinite suspension, which usually lasts a year.
Right. And
then you can apply for reinstatement, and then depending on if you've been a good boy or not, they let you back in. So I think he'll end up with a 6-game suspension, but is another team going to sign him? Because he's now gone. Or are we going to wake up on Monday and find out that the Washington Redskins have acquired Kareem Hunt on waivers? Because they're saying, well, we're just going to stash these dudes in the closet until we find out about their legal standing. Because that makes the fact that they're on teams makes me uncomfortable. Like the fact that Reuben Foster got picked up on waivers makes me uncomfortable. And I understand that he hasn't gone through due process, but it's just when you've gone through that many strikes, how many more chances do you get? It's just a weird feeling for me.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
I don't know what it means long term or anything, but I just hope that the more public outcry there is for stuff like this, the more the NFL does as a league or as a company. They're a company to, one, if they hide things, to stop, to bring these. I think the bottom line is that you can't be letting talent outweigh virtue. If that makes sense. Like, you can't be letting bad people that have done bad things, play football just because they're good at what they do. And I just hope that's not happening.
Right.
I hope these are just isolated incidents that happen to come around the same time, and that it's not a pattern of things that are happening, because that would be super messed up. But that's all I've got for sports. Did you have anything else for sports? Or you want to talk about some movie stuff at all? Or
do you have any movie
I got some
lined up?
TV stuff that we can talk about.
Cool.
Daredevil got canceled.
Yeah, saw this.
Made me real sad.
It's obviously not because of the quality of Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil's incredible.
But it's
now we should state this follows the cancellation of the two other Netflix shows, Marvel shows on Netflix, Iron Fist and Luke Cage, both canceled first. Now, right after its 3rd season aired, Daredevil gets canceled. And guess what? Punisher Season 2 and Jessica Jones Season 3 are in the works. Right. And I would not be surprised if after those seasons came out that those shows were also canceled. I would not be surprised. Now, I was under the assumption that this was happening because Netflix is making a concerted effort to move away from things that they don't produce themselves, because it's more expensive for them to stream them. It's more expensive for the company to purchase the streaming rights to things that they don't own and then continually stream them, rather than just produce their own quality content, which Netflix does. People that act like Netflix doesn't make good stuff, Netflix makes a lot of good stuff. Don't act like that's not true.
I feel like the people that say that there's nothing good on Netflix, like it's like the same thing as like looking at your refrigerator after you come home from the grocery store and you realize that you don't have anything to eat.
Yeah,
you're
you're looking at too many things and not just picking something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought this was going to be because with Disney Plus coming, the Disney streaming service, that they were just going to pick all these shows back up on their own service. But I saw some reports today that basically said that Disney doesn't like these shows because they don't fall under the family content that they want to put on their service. Which means they may not, there's a good chance they won't pick them up.
Right.
Now, Disney also owns half the universe, and half the universe includes Hulu, which is apparently in the future going to be their space for things that are a little less Disney.
Right.
So there's a potential chance that they put them on Hulu. But
Disney owns Hulu?
Yeah.
Huh.
At least like a chunk of it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why ABC shows will stream on there. Because they own ABC. They own everything.
Right.
Yeah, it made me real sad. Like, I was bummed when they canceled Luke Fist and Iron Cage. Bring me those comics. Luke Cage and Iron Fist, but not to this extent. Like, those shows are nothing compared to Daredevil. Mm-hmm. I thought if anything, they would all get canceled except Daredevil, and they would just keep making Daredevil. Because you can give me 8 seasons of that show. There's enough source material, and there's enough character potential, and there's enough narrative potential for at least 8 seasons of TV, especially at the shrunken 10 to 13 episode length. Right. I just really hope it's not the end of this iteration of Daredevil. Because if, for example, they said, in 2 or 3 years, oh, we're making a new Daredevil show that ties into the MCU directly. It does not have Charlie Cox in it. Uh-huh. It does not have Vincent D'Onofrio. It does not have Deborah Ann Woll. No, thank you.
Right.
I mean, I think it's cool you're going to tie Daredevil into the MCU and he might show up in a movie, but give me Charlie Cox. Mm-hmm. Charlie Cox is to Matt Murdock as Robert Downey Jr. is to Tony Stark.
Yeah.
As
that tied to the identity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think he's completely incredible in the role. And I think Vincent D'Onofrio is equal to Kingpin, to being Wilson Fisk. Yeah, I was really bummed when I saw that today, and I just am hoping that in the future we see these. I would like to see all of them taken up somewhere else, because I think it's a universe, a small, mini universe with a lot of potential. And I just hope that it's not over. But I very much especially hope that Daredevil's not over. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously I agree. How is it possible to do a more family-friendly version of
Daredevil, right? Like, is Daredevil even not family-friendly? There's nothing, like, gratuitous in Daredevil, except maybe the violence.
It's just violent.
But even then, it's not, they pan away from the really gross stuff. There's no gore in Daredevil. There's blood. But I wouldn't say there's gore, really. Like,
yeah, gore is a different thing.
The scene where Kingpin in season 1 smashes that dude's head in the car, you don't ever see the dude's head.
Yeah.
You just see Kingpin, and you know what's happening, and it's you feel it, and it's gross, and like it's brutal, and you don't like it.
It's more,
but it's not gratuitous.
It's more guttural.
It's guttural, yes.
It's not gory, but it is bloody. It is violent. Mm-hmm. But
Daredevil's a pretty lighthearted show at times too. Like, Matt isn't some, like, I could see Punisher not being family friendly.
Okay.
But Matt isn't, going around murdering people.
True.
He's a hero of light, of hope. He's like a good dude.
Yeah. But the maturity of Daredevil is it lies more in the ideas.
It's definitely more mature.
It lies more in the ideas and the approach to it than the exact things that you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, it's definitely more mature than the normal MCU is. Mm-hmm. It's not, they're not making jokes left and right. But it's not that it's not lighthearted and doesn't have levity to it. I almost wonder if Disney, now obviously, like, we can't really bash Disney for business decisions. They literally own half the world. But they've obviously made the right decisions throughout its existence. But is Disney like overly committed to the idea of family friendly? Like, what does that even mean? Like your streaming service being specifically family friendly, you're putting Marvel shows on there. You're making a Loki show.
Right.
Loki's a bad guy. He's not like a good dude.
Uh-huh.
What's that show going to be if it has to be strictly family friendly and that you don't think Daredevil is family friendly or something?
Right. I don't know. I feel like you might be counting out just that, like the straight up ability, like of the geniuses involved with Disney, because obviously the MCU is very family.
Yeah.
friendly.
Well, I think that the Loki show and the Scarlet Witch show and the rumored Winter Soldier Falcon show, they're all going to be like Marvel movies. They're going to be that style.
Yeah.
They're going to be bright. They're going to be fun. They're going to be funny.
Yeah.
And they're going to have strong characters. They're not going to be, bereft of
Quality.
conflict or quality or, fear, but they're going to be bright.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, it seems like, I think that a huge portion of the audience that would and could subscribe to Disney Plus would love to see things that are a little bit more like Daredevil next to things like the MCU and like Star Wars and like Disney animated movies. I think that there are like people like you and me who like all of these things.
Right.
And would love them all in that one place.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just it's something that's so different from what Netflix has done, and obviously Netflix is the most successful streaming service out there.
Yeah.
And they're someone who they are very inclusive in all of the things that they can provide, as far as more mature content and family friendly content, and is the exclusivity of that Disney is trying to go after, is that going to be successful or not?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to do that. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not saying the streaming service isn't going to be successful.
But
I'm saying
smart?
I think it could be even more successful. You know what I mean? If they weren't afraid of these kinds of things.
Okay.
Like, what's going to happen to Deadpool because Disney's buying Fox?
True.
What's going to happen to Deadpool?
Yeah.
Because that's not a Disney movie.
No.
It's goofy and funny and silly like a Disney movie, but it's also raunchy and gross and, full of cursing.
Yeah. There's a pegging scene.
Yeah.
In Deadpool.
Literally.
If there's one thing that Disney doesn't align with,
is pegging. Title of the episode: Disney doesn't align with pegging. I don't think we should do that. Yeah, it's just an interesting idea. I'm excited for Disney Plus. I'm gonna subscribe to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
Just right off the.
Yeah, dude. I want access to all their movies. I want to be able to watch any of their animated movies whenever I want.
Okay.
I want to be able to watch Moana every day.
Right. Moana was like on Netflix for a while.
It's going off next month.
Yeah.
Wait, next month is tomorrow. Oh no. We need to watch Moana right now. Make way! Make way! Oh, geez. Speaking of Netflix, I had another... So, I know you saw some of these. They're not all Netflix, but Netflix got an anime that neither you or I had ever heard of.
Right.
That is apparently extremely influential and beloved, called Evangelion. I don't even remember the full title, but people refer to it as Evangelion.
Or Eva for short.
Yeah. They also are making a Cowboy Bebop live action show.
That I'm not as excited for.
Let's talk about Netflix's weird relationship with anime right now.
Well, but they're an incredibly good service for anime. I mean, outside of like, was it Crunchyroll?
Yeah, Crunchyroll's
like
the big one.
the specific anime.
The next thing
stuff.
I'm going to tell you about is Crunchyroll.
Okay. So they have a lot of good anime.
Yeah.
But they have established a precedent for making really shitty live action adaptations
Preach.
of previously
wanna talk about
beloved anime Let's talk about Death Note. Okay. I love Death Note, the original anime. I fucking really enjoyed it. It's an anime that is one of the greatest psychological thrillers I've ever seen. It's really, really smart. It has really interesting character development, and it's one of, there isn't a lot of shows that you can watch where the main character, the protagonist, is, for the most part, he's the bad guy. He's the villain of the show.
Yeah, it's hard to execute something like that.
And it's something that Death Note does really well. I really, really like Death Note, the original anime.
How about the movie?
The movie's garbage. The movie's ass. That movie is booty.
Yo, but Willem Dafoe's in it.
And it was such a great casting. I was so excited for that. The fact that Lakeith Stanfield was in it. I was really excited for the casting of that movie. And plus, when they announced it, I had just gotten done with watching Death Note for the first time. So it was just really cool timing for me. But fuck that movie. They took one of the not only was the show really smart, but the character of Light Yagami in that show was
who?
The character of Light.
His name is Light.
His name is Light.
That's the lead. That's the villain. That is your lead.
He's the protagonist. That is
a villain,
for the most part. A villain.
Okay.
Like he kills people.
Yeah.
The premise of Death Note is that you have this guy who finds a notebook. He finds a notebook. And it's a notebook from death gods, basically. And
spooky.
Basically, there's a lot of rules that go into it. But
the
whenever he writes a name into that a book, that person dies. And it's a really, really smart psychological thriller. And Light is really smart. And in the live action adaptation, they made him really dumb and all of the positive qualities that were there with Light in the anime, we just vapid of it in the live action adaptation.
Was he still evil? Not evil, but is still like a villain?
Huh? Yes, he was.
So
but
that
also
seems like such a foolish decision creatively. Because if your lead character, if your protagonist is going to be a villain, you need them to have likable qualities. Yes. And intelligence is a likable quality.
Yeah.
Something that makes you like a character. Taking that away from him seems like it just hurts the character.
But it's also
makes them more difficult to like.
So I would, this is how I would kind of describe it. Imagine Frank Castle with like a Mark Zuckerberg IQ, right? And he gets a hold of that kind of notebook. Yeah. What he would do.
That's the real Death Note.
That's the Death Note. That's the anime. Imagine that kind of and that's
now you're talking about Mark Zuckerberg a la Social Network.
I just mean a really smart person.
Because for all we know, Mark Zuckerberg in real life might have that notebook. And that would be spooky.
I just mean imagine Frank Castle with a really high IQ and having that notebook, and how interesting that would be. And that's Death Note.
Okay.
But like what Light Yagami was in the live action adaptation was like if I don't know, Justin Bieber had a notebook. And
now this is coming from people who like Justin Bieber, by the way.
Yeah,
we got love for the Biebs. We got love for the Biebs.
But if he had if he came across that,
I don't want him finding a death notebook. I don't want that happening.
It wouldn't be as compelling.
That being said, there is precedent for Netflix mishandling anime adaptations. And I would argue there's just precedent in general for anime adaptations going poorly. Ghost in the Shell, people hated.
Has it ever been done right?
I don't know if anyone's ever made a good one.
Right.
I don't know.
It
I'm also not enough of an anime fan. I want to peel it back a little further and just talk about anime a little bit. Because I don't watch much anime at all. I don't really get the... So, I've seen Dragon Ball Z, and I really like the show My Hero Academia, which is a current anime. Outside of that, I don't really know a lot of animes. But like, what is the difference between those types of animes, more mature, not for kids animes, but also still for kids in some senses, and anime like the Pokemon anime or the Digimon anime or just animated shows? These are all different things that I think can be a little confusing. What makes an anime different?
Like what? Okay, so are you asking?
I'm asking. What specifically makes it an anime? Is it that it's made in Japan? Because that seems like, why can't Americans make anime?
I mean, I would say it's a Japanese animation. I feel like we might.
Is
be
it down to
pissing off a lot
animation
of-
style?
Well, I feel like there are specific anime fans that could maybe
Answer this way better.
articulate it way better, because I am also a very fringe, and I think I might be more into anime.
You're probably a little bit more than I am. But
Because I've seen, you've seen more Pokemon
I've seen
than I
almost all of
have,
Pokemon.
but I've seen
though.
more Dragon Ball Z than you.
Yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Z growing up, like when I was a kid.
Yeah, I've seen all of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z within the past.
But have you
years.
seen Dragon Ball Super?
No, I haven't seen all of it. I haven't seen any of Super or GT.
Super's wild.
Right.
I saw a few episodes of it. It's wild.
Yeah. I've seen all of Death Note. I've watched Full Metal Alchemist recently, and I still need to finish that. But I got really excited for Eva.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it when it comes out,
yeah, it
just
looks-
because of the reaction that people had to Netflix acquiring it. Apparently, it's very hard to find in its full, complete form legally, and it's beloved and apparently super influential. So I'm just really
And it's like
interested
20 years old. Right?
Yeah, and the animation looks good.
Yeah.
Like it holds up really well.
And from what I've seen so far, everybody kind of has it's like the internet struggles to define what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody on Reddit is like, the Netflix commercial kind of makes it look like it's just a mecha,
Like a Gundam show.
like
Or
Gundam.
Pacific Rim.
And they're like, I really hope that people go into it, watch it, like
Thinking that's what it
it's
is,
going
'cause
to be,
then they're gonna get
and then
shook.
just get really fucking weirded out. And that comment I saw on Reddit
Made you wanna watch it
I was
more?
like, yeah, that makes me
Yeah.
want to watch it. Because it's supposed to have a lot of religious themes and shit.
That's interesting.
Too, which so apparently, like the mechas in that show are supposed to be called the Evangelions, or
Oh, okay,
whatever.
that's what
and
an
if
Evangelion-
if it derives from the word like evangelicism,
Yeah.
that's
That's
then
true.
that would
I didn't
make
think
sense.
about that.
But yeah, apparently they fight these aliens called angels, and but there's like a lot of themes of like Judaism, Christianity, and Buddhism or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, I spent a while
Some
looking at the
researching it?
Wikipedia
Yeah.
and shit.
I'm gonna go in blind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive in blind. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I see a reaction to something that is so overly positive from everyone,
Right.
that makes me interested in something I'd never heard of.
Just a complete black hole that hasn't even
Yeah.
entered into our existence yet.
Yeah.
Like until that news happened. Because there's certain animes that I've heard over and over again that are really good. Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
I've heard One Punch Man's really good.
I watched so our friend Paul watched Cowboy Bebop and loved it, and then watched One Punch Man. And I watched the last 2 episodes of the first season of One Punch Man, and it was stupid.
Oh, really?
It was so weird. It was so weird. I think like it's part of there's a cultural divide to anime. Like Japan is different than America.
Right.
And there is a divide in the sense of humor of things and the like how proper certain things are too. I think that there's like lines that they cross in Japan that maybe something made in America wouldn't cross.
True.
In some senses.
True.
And then vice versa, I think probably as well.
Yeah. I completely agree. There are certain they are weirdly a more sexualized,
especially in their humor.
community.
Especially in their humor.
Yes. There is a literal scene in I think it's Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball
Is when Goku's a kid.
is when Goku's a kid and it's a little bit older, and I don't think that they it wasn't. I think that when they were making Dragon Ball, they didn't realize how much
Big
of
it was gonna be?
how much of an international impact that it was going to have yet.
Yeah.
So it had a lot more. There's a lot more
more
sexual
weird stuff.
Okay, so, and a lot of people are kind of uncomfortable with, or I shouldn't say uncomfortable, but like not used to the grammar of Japanese culture and what the kind of the visual things that you're seeing, what they actually mean, right? So there is a common aspect of anime where if a dude gets horny, his nose starts bleeding.
Bleeds, yeah.
His nose starts bleeding. And it's something that's just completely random.
They think it's funny.
Well,
I think.
but it's not just...
And it's also just a representation of it. It's so that the audience knows what he's going through.
Yeah, it's not just a joke.
Yeah.
It's the grammar. It's the language of the medium. But like there was like weird shit. Like I knew that in Dragon Ball, and then there's this scene. There's this scene in Dragon Ball where the crew has to fight. They have to fight this invisible guy, and I think it was like Krillin or somebody went to go get Master Roshi, because Master Roshi, every time that he saw Bulma, like he would get horny and fucking his nose would start bleeding. And there was a scene where Krillin goes to get Master Roshi. He literally fucking flashes Bulma's boobs to Master Roshi. His nose starts bleeding uncontrollably,
shooting out blood, and
the
it gets on the invisible guy.
Gets on the invisible guy so that fucking Yamcha can beat him up or something. I was
so
like that.
silly.
They literally incorporated it
Yeah.
into their plot line.
Yeah.
Like it's so strange.
It's ridiculous.
And a lot of people are not only unfamiliar but uncomfortable with that grammar.
Yeah.
With that, not just the sex stuff, but like the weird, like Full Metal Alchemist has a lot of this, and certain animes are more translatable to an American audience than others. And Full Metal Alchemist has a lot of really goofy sound effects and like background stuff and like just emoting. That's just really strange. And if you're not comfortable with watching a lot of anime, you won't be used to. And I don't know. It's an area of culture that it's seen as being really geeky, right?
Yeah, it's similar.
I would say it's a rung below Dungeons and Dragons.
Below meaning it's more nerdy.
No.
One less nerdy.
Yeah, less nerdy.
Yeah,
than Dungeons
I would
and
agree.
Dragons, yeah.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Mostly because young African American culture has embraced it so hard that it's made it way cooler.
Yeah, I think I saw a graph of like the mentions of Goku.
Yeah.
In raps in the past like 10 years,
Yeah.
like in how much it's spiked.
And there's there's tons of athletes now that love anime and talk about anime all the
Fucking
time.
Joel Embiid will watch Dragon Ball Z on the.
There's tons of them, of athletes that love anime. But yeah, I think the other anime that I wanted to tell you about is Crunchyroll and Adult Swim are working on together, and it's a Bladerunner anime.
Okay.
Which I think
has been done already.
Well, they made the short.
Yeah.
They made the short, yeah. So I just think it's interesting. So like anime is something that I feel like I should like more than I do. And I feel like I should watch more of them. I don't think that I think there's like a greatest hits version of anime that's for me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like the Beatles' greatest hits is for anybody. But then if you do the deep dive, the Beatles get weird. Right?
Right. Okay.
I think the greatest hits version of anime is for me.
Right.
I think the deep dive into anime is not for me. I don't think I'll like it. But the greatest hits
So you need anime without Octopus's Garden.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, is that that's a Beatles song?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that things like Dragon Ball Z, things like My Hero, they're very surface level anime. They don't get too weird. There's still some weird stuff, but you when you're not used to it, like you said, you just kind of go, huh, and move past it. And I think I need to see more of it to figure those things out. But I like that Netflix seems to be embracing anime a little bit, even though the Blade Runner thing isn't them. But bringing in a beloved old anime, they have a lot of animes on there already. I think the live action thing is kind of weird.
Well, Crunchyroll is like specifically for
all anime. Yeah, that's how I watched My Hero. I did the free subscription thing.
Oh, okay.
To Crunchyroll and watched it. I think that's something good about the live action Cowboy Bebop, which I want to watch Cowboy Bebop because I think I might like it. Especially because of the music. I think the music will play a big part in that. I think that the fact that the original creator is involved is a good sign. Just like the fact that the original creator of Avatar, The Last Airbender, is involved in their live action version of Avatar.
Okay.
I like that they're involving these guys and not just making a ripoff. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's hopeful. I'm not saying they're going to be good or not, but it's hopeful.
Right.
And I'm not going to be dismissive of them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Avatar's not an anime, is it?
Huh?
Is Avatar an anime? See, this is what I'm talking. I don't know. I don't know where the line is.
What is the line?
Because Avatar is Western. It's made by American people, in sort of in homage of.
Yeah, I would say it's
culture.
anime inspired, but
yeah,
is it an anime? I would say no.
Okay, it's just an animated cartoon.
Like, I would still say Pokemon's an anime.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a line there. You know,
that's different,
people,
right?
Yeah, that if you talk to anime fans,
it's almost like it's an anime made for everyone, rather than like made for Westerns specifically to enjoy. Whereas other anime are no, this is anime, and if you like it, we don't, or if you like it or not, we don't care. Yeah, this is what we like.
Yeah, like there's just there's a hierarchy of anime. Like if you're talking to someone and they say, yeah, like I watch a lot of anime, and if you're like, yeah, I watch anime too, I like anime a lot. They're like, all right, what's your favorite anime? Yeah, if you say like Pokemon, they're gonna be like,
well, they're gonna roast you. Pokemon.
Well, here's the thing, like if they I feel like if an anime fan,
I think like if I said My Hero Academia, they'd be like, "Oh, you're a basic bitch."
Okay,
I think is what might happen.
But here's the thing though, like because you might still like Pokemon might still be your favorite, but if you're like, yeah, but I've also seen Sword Art Online.
Yeah, like is saying Pokemon is your favorite, like saying Harry Potter is your favorite book. Yeah, it's like okay, fine. Yeah. What's your next favorite thing? Like, come on, give me something. I think it's interesting. I would love it if we could have someone as a guest that knows a lot about anime to talk about. I think that'd be cool. Maybe if our friend Terrence is ever out here. Yeah. Terrence knows a ton about anime. We could have him on. But I wanted to ask you about the Blade Runner one because you've seen the short, right? Yes. I haven't seen 2049 yet, so don't spoil it. I get them mixed up a lot because there was 3 shorts that came out before 2049, and I watched all 3 shorts. Right? I think I watched all 3 shorts like within a few hours or whatever before I saw 2049, and I'm pretty sure that one is called Blackout. The one that is an anime? Yeah. So they're in different animation styles. Yes. There's one that's a live action. Part of anime is the animation style, right? So there's one that's like Blade Runner 2048, and it has Dave Bautista in it. Live action? And it's live action. And isn't he in the movie as well? Yes. Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Dude, give that guy more work. He's great. He's great. I think all 2 of them are live action and 1 is animated. Okay. Because there's one that isn't Jared Leto in one Dave as well? Bautista, and there's one that's more focused on Jared Leto. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. That's cool. I really liked the way that they rolled all that out. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I still haven't seen any of it, but I think I admire it. And if I take as long to see Blade Runner 2049 as it took me to see the original Blade Runner, I will be like 60 years old. But that's fine. Yeah, I think the idea, just from knowing the universe of Blade Runner, I think the idea of an anime could work really well. Like, I almost feel like animation might be the best medium to tell Blade Runner stories. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, you got to see the rest of them. First. You got to see the rest of them. Yeah. The animated one's really cool. I forgot who made it. Somebody that's like really well respected in anime made. I'm almost positive that was Blackout.
But yeah, Blade Runner. One of the most amazing things about Blade Runner, though, is seeing fully realized crazy architecture and city development.
It's beautiful.
It's awesome to see that in a live action thing. Like as fun and cool as a good art style will be, it's Blade Runner 2049 is gorgeous. It's one of the most gorgeous movies I've ever seen.
Well, it's Denis Villeneuve, right?
Yeah.
That dude's a genius.
Yeah.
He's also making Dune now, which I'm pretty excited about.
But it's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, there are several shots in that movie that just.
I mean, there's
like,
just in the trailer that has it. Yeah, I have to see it. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. I hope it doesn't become like Blade Runner is, where it's just hard to find it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then obviously the original Blade Runner has all the different cuts
and shit.
Yeah.
It gets really confusing.
But yeah, I thought that was some interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't give a rest in peace segment again to a dude who I think forged a lot of people our age's childhood. That's Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is kind of hard for me because I'm not really a big fan of SpongeBob. So
that's okay. You don't have to be a big fan, but you can admit that to its gravitas to a generation.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
people our age generally, people our age generally love SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And watched a lot of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, but he was a marine biology teacher, and he basically wrote SpongeBob to teach before it was ever a show.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I don't know why I knew that already. I think I read an article like a long time ago about him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but like I was never really into SpongeBob.
I mean, SpongeBob was weird.
Yeah. Well, and it was just one of those things. Like I majority of the time I watched things that like I knew my dad would also like.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
your dad didn't like SpongeBob?
No, not really. He was a big Johnny Bravo fan, though.
I feel like your dad would think SpongeBob is funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, SpongeBob is super funny.
I don't know. I mean,
SpongeBob is one of those things that is equally funny to children and adults, because it's almost like they were writing it for two different audiences at the same time. Like, they were like, all right, half of this show is for the kids to laugh at, and half of this show is for the adults to laugh at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just stuff that, it's kind of like Shrek. It's kind of like that, I think, too, where if you watch it, 10 years later,
my dad loves Shrek.
It's a completely different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just thought that that's a pretty big figure to people our age, I thought.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to Steven Hillenburg.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like SpongeBob, it's still kind of sad. And he was really young. He died to ALS, which is really sad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was like 57. Yeah. Really sad. You got shout-outs?
Oh, God. What is it?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
In lieu of the trailer coming out for the upcoming 5th series, as they say across the pond, which means season in America. I don't know why they say series. My shout-out is for a TV show called Luther. Have you ever seen Luther?
No.
Luther is a show from the BBC network over in Britain, starring Idris Elba as the titular character, Detective Inspector Lufa. Detective Inspector Lufa. That's how they talk.
Is it Luther or is it Lufa?
It's Luther, but
okay.
That's how they say it. Lufa. Like the thing you use in the shower. No, he is a detective, and he is a troubled man. He is hardcore, and he's very good at his job. And it's a really well-made detective procedural kind of show. And like all BBC shows, very easy to watch because it's like 4 or 5 episodes per season. I love that about their shows. It co-stars Ruth Wilson in a maniacal and scary character who is, she's a villain for sure, but is also like the only person who really understands John Luther in a way. And it's kind of like it makes you uneasy, and you're not even sure when you watch this show if you trust John. Like, you know he's a good man, but you're also like, is he though? You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a really well-made character, brilliantly acted by Idris Elba, who is fantastic, and Ruth Wilson's also amazing. And I think it just does the crime procedural thing.
Is Ruth
really
Wilson
well.
in anything else? Did you say?
What's that other? Hold on, I've got her IMDb right here. She was in another TV show called. Oh, where is it? She was in Locke, but it was probably just her voice. Where is it? The Affair was the other show she was known for.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been in other stuff. You might know her, but yeah, that's her like two most famous things. That's her. Yeah, she's really good in it. So yeah, that's my shout out. Luther, catch up.
Lufa.
Yeah, catch up on the adventures of Detective Inspector Luther before season 5 drops. I think it's all on Netflix. It was. I hope it still is, because I'm probably going to rewatch it before it comes out. How about you?
Okay, I got a rapper.
Oh, nice.
Goes by the name of Jalen Santoy.
Okay.
Jalen Santoy. So my favorite thing of him, I don't know if it's an album or an EP or whatever.
Project.
But it's a collection of, I think, 7 songs called Charlie Eastern. Charlie Eastern. He has a song on there called Foreplay that I would really recommend if you're going to listen to one song by him. Off the Glass is also really good. CP3 I listen to a lot.
Is it a basketball album?
No, I mean it's rap. It just has a lot of that in it. No Peace is really good too.
What was the name? Something Eastern?
It's called Charlie
Is
Eastern.
Charlie Eastern his 2K character?
Maybe. I have no idea. But yeah, really talented young dude.
Is he on anyone's label at all, or is he independent? Do you know?
I actually don't know if he's
Is he related to other artists in any way? Does he work with anyone a lot in terms of features or anything? That
Charlie
you know
Eastern, I don't think that there was any big features.
Oh, he went
on
full
there.
J. Cole on that? Hell yeah. I respect that.
I mean, he does have a sample of Skip Bayless and fucking Stephen A. Smith in the beginning of CP3, because they're literally talking. That's
funny.
It's what was it? First Take?
Yeah.
That show. Or there's a recording on First Take of them talking about.
Is it kind of like how the one Kendrick song or the couple Kendrick songs have the Fox News clipping?
Kind of
like that.
It's kind of like that, but it's Skip Bayless talking about CP3 and about how he's not, like, he doesn't deserve a max contract or something like that, right? And he said that he's not a superstar.
Okay.
And
they're arguing over semantics. The most First Take thing ever.
As soon as Skip Bayless stops talking, the Jalen Santo's first line is, "I don't give a fuck what another man think."
As anyone's reaction to Skip Bayless should be.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Because that dude
what
is
dude
full of
thinks.
shenanigans. All right. So, shout outs. Check out Jalen Santoy, Charlie Western.
Nope. Close.
Dang it. Wrong direction. Charlie Eastern.
There you go.
Jalen Santoy, Charlie Eastern. Check out Luther, starring Idris Elba. Check us out on The Chris and Kyle Show on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on all podcasting platforms. Like, share, rate, review. Hit us up on Twitter at tcaks pod or on Facebook to check out our poll for the month, our December poll for the Viewer's Choice Spoilers episode, featuring two movies made by franchises trying to sort of rebrand themselves a little bit.
Right, and I would say that this is like the volatility poll.
Ooh.
The volatility.
Okay.
So
like something that could be really good or bad.
Yeah.
These movies could end up being great or horrible, and I would be not surprised either way. They could also just end up being good, like just average movies.
Right.
And the choices are, I've kept you waiting. Aquaman and Bumblebee of the DC Cinematic Universe and the Transformers universe. So go check that poll out on Facebook and on Twitter. Let us know what movie you want us to see and do a spoiler episode on. And hit us up on the socials. And come back on Thursday for our really spirited episode on Sleepaway Camp.
As bad as this episode was, it's going to be even worse for that one.
He built it up too big in his head, guys. It's not my fault.
I just, I took a swing and I missed. It happens.
It happens. Growing pains, dude. We're learning. We're learning. We're like, what, 10 weeks in? We're learning. Doing it big.
Mm.
All right.
This is our 10th episode, dude.
Yeah, episode 10. Shout out. Episode 10.
Shout out to us.
Hey, what? You saw the stat. It was like most podcasts
Shout in.
don't do more than 10 episodes, right?
Shout in.
So we made it to the most part. We've done more episodes than most. Good work.
Yep.
All right, guys. This has been the Chris and Kyle Show. He's Chris. I'm Kyle. And we out.
We out. Stay weird.